are not respected. And I use the title "The Collapse of Rule of Law and the Dire Human Rights Violations in Turkey" on purpose, because when in a place there is no rule of law, then it is certain that there are harsh, dire human rights violations in that place. That's why I use that title. And as Professor just mentioned, we have to pay a close attention to the first two phases of AKP, the ruling period of AKP. Professor Ben Meyer, do you want me to draw the attention to the ironic name of the party, Justice and Development Party, AKP? And in these 10 years, I mean, it's from 2002 until 2012, Turkey was in the line of westernization, democratization, modernization. I mean, whatever you can name as the democracy, EU standards, being a part of the Western world in terms of human rights, then it shifted. It shifted from democracy to authoritarianism. What happened? What happened is that by means of political Islamist tool, Erdogan just claimed his power in a very strong way, and he became very popular among the Turkish citizens because of this political Islamist tool, and he got the resentment of progressive developments within the EU standards. And then, of course, we have been facing human rights abuses in Turkey after July 15 coup attempt. And the biggest argument the government has been using is the state of emergency, which is the official name of the Operation Huge Witch Hunt. And within the decrease of the emergency of state, individuals, opposing individuals, groups, minorities like Kurdish, Alevi, Armenian people, and alleged supporters of the Hizmet movement have been facing arrests, imprisonments, torture, inhumane and degrading treatments, denial of fair treatments, and labeling, confiscation, passport seizures, and so on and so forth. I'm going to show you some facts from the State Department's report. State Department releases reports about the countries in terms of human rights practices. This is from 2018 report. And the number of the people who have been investigated is more than 500,000, which is equal to the population of Kentucky. It's huge. It's ridiculous. And among them, there are more than 176 journalists. Turkey is the top tier country all around the world, which is, a shame for us. And when you go to the institutions, unions, schools, which were shut down, you can see the numbers, huge numbers. 4,000, judges and prosecutors are dismissed. You can see the numbers because my time is limited. I'm gonna go show this, and you can find all these reports on the website of Anti-Press Science Turkey and more. And I'm going to go specifically what kind of human rights violations are taking place in Turkey. I'm going to start with torture, which is the harshest one. And you are aware of the diplomats who have been exposed to torture in Ankara, more than 100 diplomats. And I was visiting Senate and Congress with a man from Texas. He was exposed to torture for 77 days, and then he was released. And then he could make it out of the country, of course, in illegal ways, through the Eros rivers to Greece and then to the United States. And when we were visiting the senators and Congress people, I listened to him 6 times, his story 6 times, I couldn't bear it. He told that he was exposed to 21 different types of torture. I don't want to mention about that. But torture is harshly taking place, and there are different forms. I mean, the women, the babies, what they face, what they go through is another form of torture. Separating from kids or giving birth in the hospitals, in the detention centers, it's another kind of a torture. And abductions and deportations, More than 100 people have been abducted so far, both in Turkey and abroad. We are trying to support them, in legal ways, in raising awareness. The very recent ones were in Turkey again. 6 people were missing since February 2019. 4 of them just were brought under police station. 2 of them are still missing. Their whereabouts is still unknown. And the families, it's not just abducted people who are going through these harsh conditions. Their families, which means thousands of people are being exposed to, results of these abduction cases. And abroad, in Moldova, in Kosovo, I'm sure that Arban is going to mention about them. In Moldova, in Kosovo, in Malaysia, in Pakistan, lots of abduction cases just took place and they were deported to Turkey, where they will face torture again. You can see on the left, Kaçmaz family. They are among the lucky ones because, Mesut Kaçmaz was deported to Turkey from Pakistan. He was put in the jail. Then United Nations has just interfered with the situation because of the human rights organizations here from America. And then he was released with a travel ban. But he, of course, in illegal ways could make it to Greece and then here in the United States. Now they are united with the family. And on the top, you can see 6 men who were abducted from Kosovo with the secret agents, by the secret agents of Turkish intelligence, and with the help of Kosovo police, right, Arbana? Am I mistaken? No. Because without the help of the local police or law enforcement, it's impossible to abduct people from a country, foreign country. Which means, in the third world countries, the police and the governments are helping Erdogan, unfortunately. And one of them is the doctor Osman Karakaya. His daughter was my student, so I'm in close contact with them. I'm following them closely. They're in a really bad situation. And on the right bottom, you can see a van. It's a broad daylight. It's Moldova, and 6 people again were abducted there, just in broad daylight, just in front of their kids. And they were deported to Turkey. And it is said that the Moldova government got just $10 million to implement this situation. And at the bottom, you can see 3 people abducted from Malaysia. And in the middle, you can see Ismet Çelik. 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, he got a heart stroke and he was denied to medical care. His son was on social media begging for help. I'm sorry, it's not something good to show that, but we have to be aware. Now, I want to draw your attention to a very significant, naive point. Who are the most vulnerable victims of conflicts? Of course, like everywhere, it's women and children. Because political powers are using women and children as proxies for their power claim. And nowadays, there are more than 850 babies under the age of 6 in Turkish jails. And last Friday, we were in Manhattan again. We had a walk from United Nations Crime Park with lots of people to raise awareness about it. And of course, the Turkish government is not happy with it. And supporters of Turkish government in Manhattan are also not happy with it. And according to Bangkok rules, which was adopted by UN General Assembly in 2010, non-custodial sentences for pregnant women and children, and women in the postpartum period shall be preferred. It means that you can find alternative ways instead of putting women and babies into the jails. There is house imprisonments, there is electronic, I can't remember the, on the ankles, there's that kind of things. But Turkey government is, rejecting this idea, and they are insistently putting women and babies in jails, which is against all domestic law and international norms. And of course, several incidents of violence, ill-treatment, and sexual assault are taking place in Turkish prisons against women. And let's go some specific cases, what kind of problems women are facing in Turkish jails. The most significant one, the conditions of jails and detention centers in Turkey. Okay, I'm gonna head up, let's up. And the are not designed according to women, of course. They are all designed to men. The guards are male, which means sexual assaults are, inevitable in Turkish jails. And discrimination education, it's showing that kids cannot go to school. They are deprived of their right to education. And they are being raised in jails behind bars. And discrimination in employment, just as myself, we lost our jobs, we lost our teaching licenses, and the government, the education department of Turkish Ministry of Education just sent some warnings, official warnings. You cannot hire these teachers in your institutions. So it's impossible to find a work if you are dismissed. Okay. And I'll show you some specific cases of women. You can see Ayşe Şengül. Both women and men, that woman and her husband were taken, and she was tortured in front of her husband. And there is every birth cases in prisons. Women either in prisons are giving birth, or they are just giving birth and are being taken to hospital just after delivery. Okay, and unfortunately, you can see torture, abductions, being incarcerated, arbitrarily, arrested cases. There is no way out. You can see some people here who lost their lives through their journeys through Evros River to Greece, and there is this woman with her kids. There is this young guy. He has no concern, no affiliation with a specific group. He's just a democratic opposer of the government, but he was a chess champion. He was wrong in Evros. And lots of kids and women and families who lost their lives during the... Why are they trying these ways? Because their passports are confiscated. They cannot use legal ways to go out of the country. You have to be in either an official regular prison or just a country like a prison. And as advocates of asylum Turkey, we are trying to raise awareness, we are trying to take action with the help of you. Thank you for coming here and thank you for paying attention.